Now welcome back to Vehicle Legends. Well, today that we're gonna be upgrading our supercars for our first time. So looks like we have decent for it's still $2 million about for itself. But looks like we're gonna be upgrading all supercars instead for just a limited amount of vehicles. We're no longer upgrading for their vehicles as well, and we still have the stock age for V8 Turbo as well, because the V8 monstrosity we're going to be using for a start as well. Using to start as the Dodge Challenger first. Looks like our body modifications, we have engine upgrades for. The drivetrain should be rear-wheel drive. And we have the only supercharger braking is going to be only for our racing brakes. Transmissions is going to be checked. And body modifications is had a wheel bar as well. We cannot use that. And exactly, it wasn't a dragster anymore, and because of due to its experience, for experience normal tires, we have to do something kind of a drag tires as well. That's pretty ugly. And because of visual update enabled for this a little bit, and it looks like we have disabled for this a little bit. And we can't able for a using for a visual upgrade enable for this one, and because of to do something like this one, as because of like this one, I make sure that it should be going to be turning on all the way up here. It's not going to be taking for around for its one, and because to do something for a change around rims, what's going to be doing for a rim type is default. That's going to be find all the way using about for some kinds of rims. I'm pretty sure it was absolutely pretty equipped. Now looks like we're going to be using some kind of dragsters. No, I need to find somewhere out like a Dodge Challenger Hellcat for just a little bit for this time. I'm not sure that this guy is absolutely pretty not so intensely like this before. If this is not going to be necessary to get all the way up here, it's not going to be very perfect whatsoever. If before this is not going to be taking for all over to this one, and then exactly how it must be for a street racer it is. It's not going to be taking for all the way down into Dodge Challenger. That should be by for 9,625 credits. We absolutely said yes. And we absolutely using for a rim type custom. And we just absolutely find all the way down into its one piece. We can't able to buy that before. It looks like it's so hard to find all the way up here. And because due to exactly how this is going to be way more expensive, looks like it's time to exit for this one. And it's Supercars' turn, starting with a Ford GT 2005. And we're going to be taking around for this one seriously. And before we might able to take around for this something, let's using for our body modifications. Let's using for the aerodynamics, becoming a GT1. And because the spike looked like this, and how big it was, it's going to be using for like this for Forza mode. How that looks like we're going to be using for a GT1. If this is not going to be quite a bit possible, various possible with no wing, well, I'm going to be trying out with the GT1 stage for a little bit for purchase wing 7, and another one wasn't absolutely pretty used to be for just going to be saying no all the way for just a little bit. And it's not going to be taken for a little bit much strategy. So looks like we have to take around for the GT1 spoiler. And exactly, that must be the GT1 spoiler, another one. And that is the GT3 spoiler. And because how long it is that try to take all the way for this one. And exactly, I'm not going to be selling for this one. And because of this one absolutely equipped for this one, that is absolutely like for just going to be always going to be doing for grip and make more top speed as well. And because of this exactly how we need for an engine performance upgrade, as we're going to be all the way about to do 226 miles per hour, we have officially upgraded for ourselves, and it looks like we're going to be using for our supercharger 237 miles per hour. It's not going to be an all-wheel drive, but I should be able to stay for in front wheel drive for about for shift speed in about 60%, and our pro transmission will be exactly for a not better of the top speed, and I never guess, which is absolutely for a perfect body modifications. And about the tires, and I say that we should be gonna be going for race tires, and about for asphalt, Now we should be able to stay for around realistic. So let's see the appearance and take the paint whatsoever. So as I'm gonna be using for a rim default as well. So to make things as well, to get all the way into the top, I'm not sure. Is this some kind of just a huge necessary like that? This is not gonna be taken for a little bit for going up here. I think that should be might impossible to get all the way up here. It's not gonna be very impossible. But I say it's gotta be taking for a very much more fun to turn into a straight racing machine. It's gotta be turned into a GT1 racer or something. It's gotta be very late. Now looks like it's gotta be taking for a little bit perfect. Now it's not a little bit for this one legally. So it looks like we're gonna be getting all the way up here. Again for a huge amount of legal like at this size as well. If this size here is not gonna be still perfect, but looks like some other kinds of Koenigsegg like these reference. What are these? Are absolutely so it's not gonna be taken for a little bit of commons. And that one comment is we're gonna be find all the way straight into up front. If this is not gonna be necessary, let's using for $7,500 and we'll not make things a little bit low, but looks like for a rim type custom. And it's gonna be taken for a little bit much as well, and because of due to it's something for a stripe color, should be Creme Republic as well. It's not gonna be taken for a little bit for a primary headlight color. It looks like I don't need under color as well for just a spring coil as well. So looks like we're absolutely pretty done about this vehicle. Next is already night about for this moment. Looks like we're gonna be using the SF90 Stradale even for upgrades available. Looks like how many scenes for this body modifications. So looks like we're gonna be using about for the GT1 itself. Because of this one strategy, we should able to take around for a straight racing reference. If this is absolutely gonna be equipped for wing number 7. Looks like it's absolutely a GT1 that I never able to say. Even about for like this one turns into a GT4. It's not pretty good that I never able to like itself for just gonna be going back and looks like let's exit for this out and make another supercar for I guess. If this is what I'm absolutely using for an all-wheel drive, I think we need for some kind of engine performance upgrades. I'm not using for some kind of a performance upgrade. The drivetrain is currently all-wheel drive, but looks like we're gonna be using for 236 miles per hour. It exactly we're gonna be using for reducements as well. If this is absolutely using for a supercharger, let's gonna be using for a racing transmission. Looks like the shift speed is gonna be the engine upgrades into some kind of 236 miles per hour, and the braking should be gonna be going on racing. So it looks like all of the vehicles have been upgraded back into appearance as well. Let's gonna be using around for something kind of a rim type of custom rims for motorsports as well. And because this is exactly how it's gonna be went in for something like a pretty long time. So if that's gonna be upgrading for this one vehicle at the time, maybe she might try to steal one vehicle. Now I'm pretty not gonna be doing this thing so it looks like we're just absolutely using for one thing. It's gonna be way more harder than I ever thought. Looks like we're gonna be getting all the way into its top. And it looks like we're gonna be using for some kind of racing rims as well. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be saying yes. But looks like absolutely this vehicle is gonna be way more quickly upgraded like this one. I'm not gonna be turning in something like it's gonna be turning white. The paint for a ton of light color as well. So it looks like we're gonna be heading out and turn into something kind of race cars or something. Next is the McLaren 720S. Looks like we're gonna be taking by using the McLaren MP412C first. Looks like we're gonna be taking for a little bit great. And looks like we have been remaining for 2.2 million credits as well. So it looks like we're gonna be finding for our wing number 7. It should be a GT3 cars, but it's not gonna be taking for a little bit perfect. So it did not absolutely to fit around for this a little bit earlier. So if this is not gonna be equipping for the wing number 7, it should be a GT1 reference. Like I never say, it's a absolutely GT3 to GT1. I'm gonna be taking for this kind of that spoiler. when it's a GT3 car. So looks like next thing will be absolutely appearance. The performance upgrade should be gonna be right against 225 to 228 miles per hour. That should be gonna be almost up to 230 miles per hour. When it's too powerful, it won't be gonna be itself for all-wheel drive. Let's use for a dual turbo. Let's pick up for a supercharger against well. And the transmission should be racing transmission as well. And we have lost $2 million as well. Let me checking about for using about the racing brakes. As because of this one, and make sure the appearance will be checking out for the rims as well as possible. Now looks like even I just gonna be trying to do for all the way up into it's right there. Not before it's gonna be mentioned to be for some kind of highest value that before we're gonna be making onto this out. It looks like it's gonna be taking for a little bit for as well. More probably status as well. They're gonna be making things a little bit bigger. Until this is some kind of just a huge reference like a GT3 racer. Looks like it's gonna be pretty some kind of a little bit good. But looks like we're switching around for Koenigsegg Jeska reference as well. And because it looks like this vehicle is absolutely pretty insane, so it looks like we're gonna be hitting down for as much and make more vehicles as possible. How very impossible is that? I'm not sure that how very hard and make things is gotta be way more impossible than I ever expected to try to see like this one. So all you have to do is gonna be buying some other kinds of rims and turn into a race car. We got 2,005,000 credits. We have absolutely pretty left us to do so as well. Looks like we just absolutely never lowered our suspension. And the next one is the McLaren 720S. And because looks like it just turned into a GT1. And next we just absolutely turn into some kind of a literally concept car for blocking against spawning a vehicle. Maybe it's gonna be pretty too hard that I never seen before. Right, so looks like we're gonna be using for our body modifications. Let's check around for this one. Becomes a GT1 racer as we never slept before. Equip the wing number 7. I'm pretty not sure this is some kind of a GT1 reference. Look like this. Before we're gonna be making onto the straight, as we're losing around for 2 million credits as well. I'm pretty sure that we're gonna be buying for just a little bit for this one. If this is absolutely gonna be necessary for a high speed, for top speed humor, against a little bit one as well, let's gonna be performed to upgrade our transmission for 25,000, which is absolutely completely lost for just only one ourselves because I'm not pretty sure the drivetrain is all-wheel drive, and for suspension is gonna be for a dual turbo. Is before we might able to get for a gonna be using for a quad turbo by itself. If this is gonna be taking for a 226 miles per hour, this has gotta be a little bit outlawed or something like else. We're gonna be using for racing brakes, as we're losing amount of $1 million. 239 miles per hour in Le Mans Straight. Looks like we're going to be taking for our engine upgrades for. Looks like we're just absolutely reaching for 239. Looks like we're absolutely really good as well. So looks like we're going to be using the appearance and the rims as well. The type is going to be default. We're going to be finding ourselves for a most likely quickly fast as well. As I just might able to change the GT1 style, but looks like we're pretty not sure that we're going to be upgrading for this vehicle as much. And what this is going to be taking for a little bit as longer as it can. We're just going to be taking around for the exit about for this one. And looks like expert for the remodel as this vehicles as well. And I'm pretty sure this is going to be almost it. I'm not going to be pretty sure that the Toyota Supra is absolutely going to be taking one advantage, and the one last vehicle we have to upgrade for our performance body modifications. We got for a little bit of extreme amount of extraordinary wings of top speed. Looks like equipped for wing 7 for this a little bit for top speed humor. So if it's not going to be taken for equipped for this one, it's going to be taken for a little bit of terms of high speed cornerings as well. I'm not pretty sure this is going to be taken for a performance upgrades. Let's use a drivetrain. It's gonna be rear-wheel drive. That's gonna be taking for a 217, and it's gonna be using for a supercharged dual turbo. And it's really perfect to do like this. And braking should be gonna be improved to about for this gonna be over 50%, and about for 60%. And about the transmission, that's gonna be taking all the way up into its stock, and looks like into appearance we'll be using around rim, because if that's all that I ever tried to say, we'll be turning into upgraded race cars or something, and it's gotta be so huge like them before. If this is absolutely necessary that we should able to buy some other kinds of rims, we're absolutely taking all the way for just a little bit to get upgraded. All of these signs will be taking all the way around into this upgraded about the GT3 session. Now looks like we're going to be checking out of this one. If this is pretty necessary, is try to take this, and that is absolutely all of this. If this is absolutely going to be pretty kinds of one, we have upgraded all vehicles like I guess. So if you like for today's video, that make sure to leave a like and subscribe and click the bell. That was almost about all of this. And all the last one the thing is I need to upgrade is the Mercedes AMG GTR. How does it cost for just a little bit a lot of this thing? So it looks like we're almost gonna be there for a rim color. We're just not gonna be absolutely taking for just a little bit much time. Let's use the performance and upgrade engines number 3, 210 miles per hour, just like the same speed as Jackson Storm. That's gonna be using for 213 miles per hour against their drag racing as well. So it looks like we're gonna be using gear 3, and looks like improved racing brakes and transmission. Looks like we're gonna be using racing transmission. And I'm about to lose 1 million credits as very as possible using about for the rear-wheel drive. And it's not going to be taken for us using forced introduction as well. So it looks like we're going to be taking for about for suspension. And the tires should be going to be racing tires as well. I'm not going to be using for our visual upgrades. We forgot about for the modifications. What about that? And I really don't think so as well. So anyways, if you like for today's video, make sure you leave a like and subscribe and click that bell. That was very it for as much as well for upgrading all supercars at all cost. So thanks for watching, and which will be Trevor Concept signing off, and I'll talk to you guys into our next part, in the part number 18 for just a little bit. I think I just got myself for a ride for the GTR 35, and that feels like it's gotta be a little bit impossible. I swear I just upgraded all of this one, and because all of a sudden we are just gonna be doing for a world domination, and let's gonna be heading to reach for my 2 million pounds or some kind of credits back. So I want to get for all the way back to 2 million credits back. So cheer out, and I'm gonna be signing off.